come with you with another install. This time, bam, white line bushings. Got a bunch of diagrams, bunch of shit off my 350. So let me show you the old bushing, and we'll get started. This is gonna take a couple hours, so it's about 6:30 p.m. So hopefully I'll have light. You see, let me see if I can. Oh, sorry about that. You see that? See the bushing right there? It's all. Let me see if I can get it to focus. See, it's all cracked. There's no fluid, but you see those dark things. I think it's been a while, even before I bought it. So and now we're gonna start removing the exhaust from the Y pipe. Actually, I'm not gonna remove the Y pipe, just the middle section and the exhaust over here. And then we're gonna go start putting PB blast on these bolts, on the those, and these fuckers on the other side, and then on those two, and that guy in there. So I'm gonna start working on it. Unfortunately, I'm recording off my cell phone, so I won't be able to show you everything, but I'll try to describe it as much as possible. Oh, and we also gotta remove the sway bar at the back. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, here's an update. Use plenty of PB blast. This shit will help you like there's no tomorrow. So, you need a breaker bar, 14mm, probably an adapter, and a 14mm or a 9/16 wrench. This one's fucked up, so I'm using that one because these bolts are at, my manual says about 50 pounds foot per pounds per square inch, probably more. So they're a bitch. So basically what I'm doing is, on the driver's side, I'm putting this wrench, that way when I pull, remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So when you pull on this bolt, it's gonna put pressure and snap. Okay, and basically you go around the, around the merry-go-round, and after you're done, you need to mark. I marked with a permanent marker on that side. I haven't done it on this side yet. You put up, that's a sensor right there, which I gotta remove. That's later. You gotta mark it where it goes down. I'm probably gonna use this guy for down, just mark it. But well, what the hell? I'll just show you from here. Oh, and you gotta remove all this crap, which I haven't done it yet because I want to make sure that I can remove those bolts before I start removing. And all I did was break them loose. I'm not actually loosening them 100%. But as you can see on this side, let me turn this guy so you guys can see. Got a little spray paint. There's that red mark, the black marker. There you go, black marker and black marker. So I know that this bolt goes down, so I'm gonna take a picture of it, that way I remember. But yeah, and you have to do the same with the drive shaft once you get to that. So after I break all the bolts on that side, I'm gonna go there, break these guys, break this one, and then everything else. Oh, and the sway bars, which I have to remove. I think I have to remove these covers here, but I gotta check that out. So alright, that's it for now. Oh, I'm also gonna be swapping out the diff oil while it's out. I've already had it for a while, so I might as well just do it now. Okay, alright guys. Turn it off. Turn it on. Sounds like it's coming from the flywheel. That grinding, that's the only time you hear it. Alright. Alright guys. So, let me move a little bit back. So, now we got the entire exhaust, well, the muffler off and the mid pipe off. All you see is the white pipe over there. So, now you need a 17 millimeter wrench. This is a Harbor Freight one. It's a piece of shit, so whatever, if it breaks, fuck it. So you gotta loosen, I should say, the drive shaft. So what you do is that you take a I use a 17 millimeter deep impact socket, hex, not the one with more, I forget what they're called, but exactly 6-sided. That way there's no issues with binding. These are, if I remember correctly, they're set to about 80 or 90 foot-pounds, so it's a little bit of a bitch, especially from this angle, because you're going to be moving it this way. Like the torque wrench, you're going to have to put pressure this way, and you are most likely going to be facing parallel with the car, so it's going to be a little bit weird, but it's actually pretty simple. So you take the angled section, and let me see if I can record this with one hand. Oh, sorry about that. Like, let's say we're gonna do this bolt right here. So this guy's, I already loosened them, but you put it in there and be careful with the brake line, which is right there. You basically angle it. Let me see. Once you turn it, you put the wrench in and carefully position it so it pushes against, obviously it's holding on to this now because it's loose, but it's going to push against the subframe. Once you get that, it has to be pretty much at this angle because it will move a little bit from torque. You basically put your impact on the other side and turn that way. Remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey on the side of this, okay? So if you're doing it from this side for whatever reason, like let's say you have a holder on here, it's the opposite for this bolt, okay? So it's righty loosey, lefty tighty on this case if you're doing it from this bolt. If you're doing it from this one, it's the regular one. So now I'm gonna go ahead and re-loosen these guys, because the other day I had a problem. I actually broke my I didn't break it, my old 17 millimeter warped out here, so I didn't want to round these guys out, and the auto parts store didn't have it in stock, so it was late anyway. So I decided to put these guys back on for today. So I'm gonna re-loosen them, and I'm gonna use, remember the same markings that we had earlier right there. I'm gonna make sure that this time they're a little bit more evident, especially on the drive shaft. That way you know exactly how you took off. So while I'm here, I'm gonna take this Torx, or break this Torx, break this Torx and this Torx. That's a 17 millimeter. That guy's a 17 millimeter right there, and that's a 17 millimeter. So breaker bar, 17 millimeter, and extension, bam, they come off. I broke this guy and the fill one with this little what size is this shit again? An H10 hex solid. Let me get this to focus. Yeah, H10's half-inch or quarter-inch, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, after those are loosened, drive shaft is also loose. I just gotta remove or loosen those guys and the rear sway bar. So I'm gonna get started on that one. Those are 14 millimeter, so breaker bar 14 millimeter. Same technique as the other one. Put the wrench, turn it until the wrench helps you break it, and you're pretty much done, or at least with removal of the bolts. Oh, I forgot, which I'll mention this before in an annotation. This has a breather hose that's on top. Now this right here, the bar blocks it completely. So unless you have really tiny fingers, I don't know how you're gonna be able to get this guy off. What I did was on this side of the bar, I'll show you right there. I don't know if you can see it, I'll show you later. But there's a little barb, an L barb that goes into the subframe. If you yank this guy out really quickly, you can just basically remove it, and you're set to go. And then just drop it carefully, and here are the mounts. And let's start removing that bastard right there. So yeah, that's about it. It's pulled. Here's an issue that I ran into. Is that apparently this diff on those two, now it's at two separate. These are the old ones from what I could tell in the diagram. These were new ones, which are weird because I couldn't. You see the little shield is still there. That one's empty because it's still on that one. That one I knocked it out with this fucker right there. This guy, as you can see, doesn't fit. So I had to basically drill a hole in it and then use my little 6-ton little jack press to MacGyver this thing, and then it popped, and then it pushed the center part out, which is good because then I could take my reciprocating saw, which is again Harbor Freight for the win, to cut this fucker right off in the middle and bend it out like that guy. So it's a little bit more work, but worked. Yeah, as you can see, it spilled this fucking nasty goo everywhere. So yeah, that's what I got so far. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but it's a lot better than buying a new subframe and diff or whatever just for those bearing bushings. So alright, now I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna take a little break, and then we'll continue on with this install. Alright, so here we got the diff removed. Now, in the other video, I had one bushing that I removed, but as you see, it's different completely from the other one, which goes like that. You see, so using the reciprocating saw, I pushed this guy out with my little 6-ton jack. So after I pushed this guy out, it blew that entire seal, which I could have drilled out, but nah, whatever. And then I took the reciprocating saw and I just cut this thing and punched it out. And then a little bit, made a little bit of a fuck up right there. You can see how I marred up a little bit of the surface material right there, but I think it should be fine. It's not that, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So now I'm gonna start putting those guys in. So the manual calls that the thin one goes like this, the bottom, so this goes like this, but it goes like that. The thick one on the bottom and the thin one on the top go like that. So we're looking at the bottom side. Now I'm contemplating on which way to put it, either like this or like that, because if I've heard people get vibrations when they're like this and they don't when it's like that. So I don't know, thinking about putting it this way. So yeah, I'll get back to you once I pick that. My homemade bushing puller and removal tool. So basically the way this is gonna go is, that's gonna be the bushing right that I'm gonna take out, and then let's say that this is gonna be the chassis, right? So we put this bolt through the pulley and use a ratchet to pull this fucker out, and then you can adjust the variable depth that you need for the pulley removal. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this, show you how it looks like installed, and then start torquing it little by little so I can show you. Hopefully this works and doesn't backfire on me. Alright, I chose to put the
thinner bushing on top, fatter bushing on bottom. Now we gotta grease up the this comes with a little bag of what I'm guessing is probably lithium grease. I added some lithium grease to the bushing when I pushed it in. It's not hard, you can literally just push it in with your hands, and then this just apply it to the joint over here and then just push it in through here. These also go in fairly easy. I just took it out because I forgot to pop it back in with grease. So I'm gonna do that and put this guy back on the floor. And this guy weighs about 90 pounds, so be careful. There you go. Yeah, these go right in. From my understanding, most people, you can do it either way. White line says do it the other way, put the fat one on the top and the thin one on the bottom, but I'm gonna try it like this, and supposedly there's less vibration this way, so yeah, we'll see about that. All right.
After drilling some holes in it, losing one of my bits in the process, pulling this guy out little by little, and that's the back side. I don't know if you can see it, but I basically put a wrench right there. You can see him right there. It's holding the back of that bolt. Too tired to go underneath the car right now, so I'm gonna pull this fucker out, and then tomorrow I'm just gonna cut it with the cutter saw, and then just punch that shit out, and then take out the. We'll be done. Just pull this fucker out. See how deep I had to go with the with the bolt over here, but yeah, this guy was all dried out. Guessing this may have been the non-lubricated kind. Normally these things are fluid filled, so either this thing is completely 110% dry, or these are the side pockets. It's this and this. That's the bottom and the top, or top and bottom, whatever. Yeah, these guys are supposed to be fluid filled, and I don't see any fluid. So now it's next day, morning. Well, not morning. It's like 5 p.m. Let's see. I already took out the inner core. I drilled it a bunch of times. Then I basically used my puller tool to pull the middle section out, because the saw that I have was just too big, didn't fit between the gummy part. So then basically what I did was, I don't know if you can see it, but I cut up a section right there in the middle. That's the line right there, and one right there, which didn't go so well because I couldn't see what I was doing. And then basically with a hammer and a long ass nail, I'm punching it out little by little, so it's coming out perfectly fine. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and start installing the bushing. So I'll show you that one when we get to it. So now I got this mounted already. Got our puller tool, got our bushing right there. And, if I'll be able to record it, but hold on, let me see if I can set this up so we can record. Be nice, you know. Hold on. Sorry about all that. Oh. Trying to look to see where it's recording. Right. I think right there should be good. We're just tightening it after we lube it up. See, that's going in rather well. It's almost in there. We gotta get it flush with this part right here. So now that it's in there, I'm gonna get on this side. And I don't need this long of an extension. As you see, it's already lining up. It's about flush. Let me see. That's what it looks like on the back side. And that's what it looks like on the front. So now we'll dismantle this whole thing. I'm gonna check first to make sure that it's flush, and then it's onward with the reinstall already. Right, so I only had two hands, so I'm sorry I couldn't show you how to put the diff up, but the diff is up, and yeah, now you just gotta lower it, connect the hoses, the sensors, all the appropriate bolts on the axles and the camshafts. Make sure they're all aligned using those marks that you made earlier. Put the sway bar in place, and then put the exhaust. Now I'm gonna put a link. I don't think it's on this one, but no, it's not. On the I'll put a link in the description on the torque values for each bolt, including the ones for the axles. See, they have them here, and the ones for the which I haven't torqued the spec yet, but it's 25 pounds, so it's not really, I wouldn't even need to use it. I'd probably torque it as much as like the socket for the oil drain. And then trying to find them. It's not on here. Oh yeah, here we go. The ones for the camshaft. I mean, for the sorry, my brain is like fried right now. I've been staring at the roof of the car for like for the last 20 minutes, and I'm a little bit lightheaded. The hold on. The drive shaft. Thank you. Sorry. Again, forgive me. The drive shaft bolts are 52 pounds per square inch. Foot pounds. Sorry. The axle bolts are 52, 54 foot pounds of torque. The ones that hold up the diff are 74, and then the one in the back is 81. So these two I definitely torque, and then these two, yeah, I'll torque it. I have a torque wrench, so I'm gonna, after I put all these bolts together and I align everything, I'm just introducing the bolts. I'm not gonna tighten them all the way in because you need a little bit of play, and you'll see this when you're installing the washers and all that stuff in there. So yeah, let me get to that, and that's pretty much it. After you install, and the sway bar also has to be torqued in, which
I wrote this down here. That was the ones for the connector rods or whatever, I forget what they're called. It's 37 to 44 foot-pounds, and the ones that actually hold up the bar is 20 to 29 foot-pounds, and that's it. So later on I'm going to show you how I put the washers in order, but it's basically the bolt, the steel bottom washer as you can see here, the rubber washer, and then on top is the steel washer. That's how they go from factory. So remember, chrome looking one, rubber, your regular mount, and then the steel one on top, and then you squeeze all that in like a sandwich, and then you're good. So let me get to this and then I'll get back with the results. Alright, so make sure you get all the bolts on each side of the axle torqued correctly. Make sure you get it's like a checklist type of thing. Make sure you get the drive shaft correctly bolted. Bolt both sides of the torsion of the sway bar. Bolt your exhaust back up. Make sure that bolt and the two bolts that hold the diff are correctly torqued to spec. Make sure that in case if you did swap the diff oil like I did, make sure you tighten the two bolts, the drain and the fill plug for that. That's about it. Make sure you connect both sensors on each side of the diff and the little hose, the breather hose on top. That's double check your work. I checked each bolt twice. That way, if anything happens, I tried covering the best as I could. Yeah, put your wheels back on and let's drop this guy. Hold on. I'm gonna organize all this mess tomorrow. I'm too tired right now to do it. Put all your stuff away. Yeah, so I'm gonna fix all this tomorrow. Right now I just want to make sure this starts and runs fine. Take out your wood chucks in my case. These things are awesome. So that now, moment of truth. So, all right, we're good. Just double check your work. You'll be fine.
Remember that grinding noise from that video? Oh, I took out my starter and look at this shit. Collar is completely, from what it looks like, it's completely fucked. And look at this shaft plate. So can't wait to see the shit that these people tell me now, because I lost the receipt or something. So